Tonight on 2020. With parents like these. Mothers who have kids, then decide they don't want to be around them.
I don't have to get them to brush their teeth. I don't have to be up until 11:30 to do their homework. I don't miss that.
But what do their children miss?
Do you love your children?
More than anything.
More than yourself?
Should a mother love her children more than herself?
Moms moving out. Plus, mothers and daughters fighting it out. This teenager wants to have her baby. She says her parents want her not to.
You had talked about trying to slip her some kind of an abortion pill.
It was more of a joking type thing.
A showdown that leads to court.
He said, "Our daughter is suing us."
The war at home. Mortified by mom in a two-piece? Dad in silly shorts? You ain't seen nothing yet.
My life revolves around her boobs.
The ones her mother keeps implanting.
And this kid says, "Your mom has big boobs." It's so weird and awkward.
I'm not gonna change this part of me. Can't live my life trying to please you.
Mother of the Year? And dads, we didn't forget you. Just in time for Father's Day. Leaving your child alone in a stroller in the splash zone at SeaWorld?
If you're that stupid, I want you caught on tape.
Child's Play. Tonight with parents like these.
Don't our parents always embarrass us?
Not like that. Here's Elizabeth Vargas and David Muir.
Good evening. They were harsh words. I hope she rots in hell. But those are the words from a daughter whose mother just resurfaced after intentionally disappearing, leaving her daughter for more than a decade. And it made us wonder, with parents like these.
David, most people think it's the greatest taboo of motherhood. Voluntarily leaving your children, taking a time out that can stretch into years. But the moms I met are convinced that what they have done is making them even better mothers. You take a look and decide. Mother of the Year she isn't. 11 years ago, Brenda Heist dropped off her 8 and 12-year-old children at school and then vanished. In news reports, her grieving family said they assumed she'd been kidnapped or murdered.
It was tough. I mean, every prom, my brother graduated from high school and college. I graduated and she wasn't there.
But last month, Heist finally reappeared, looking worse for wear, and made a stunning admission. She had abandoned her family on purpose. It's the rare extreme of a mom gone AWOL. The reaction? Widespread revulsion. Don't judge, says Mom Talia Liera. She's no Brenda Heist, not even close, but she's faced similar scorn for deciding to live apart from her children.
I had a lot of shame because of the way that we think about what mothers should be.
That they would never leave their children.
Some people think that.
Talia is a so-called non-custodial mother, a mom without physical custody of her kids. In 2008, she moved to Seattle after a divorce, leaving her 3 children, Nathaniel, Eric, and Serena, to live with their dad, David, 2,800 miles away in Pennsylvania. Talia spends her days painting, writing, making music, and practicing martial arts with her boyfriend. Mothering?
Hey, give me a wide shot of your room. I just want to see what it looks like.
Well, that's done from afar.
And I will walk you through the steps of the scrambled eggs. And
Oh, sure. She emails recipes for them to cook for themselves.
Pancakes.
And she stays in touch on phone and via Skype.
You sound a little like you have a cold.
Yeah, I have a cold.
But they only see each other in person around once a year.
Okay, well, Miss Sweet Cake, I will talk to you again soon.
We talk all the time. We're very connected.
And that's as good as being there.
I can't answer that it's as good as, it's just different.
I know a lot of people listening to this will want to know, do you love your children?
Absolutely. More than anything.
More than yourself?
Should a mother love her children more than herself?
Startling as this may sound, there are an estimated 2.4 million non-custodial mothers in the United States. Many of these mothers are heartbroken by the loss of custody. But some moms, like Talia, give up custody voluntarily. Author Rana Reiko is also a non-custodial mother. Her teenage sons were 3 and 5 when she and her husband divorced. Since then, she sees them for 4 to 5 hours, 3 days a week, an arrangement she initiated.
They come over after school, they stay until bedtime, and then he comes to pick them up and they go home to bed.
Rana is brutally honest about why she made her decision.
I never wanted to be a mother initially. I realized that I had kind of fallen into this role that I had never intended to fall into.
Rana wanted to devote herself full-time to her writing, not to her children. She is the rare mom to admit that she does not pine for the daily grind of parenting.
I don't have to get them to brush their teeth. I don't have to be up until 11:30 to do their homework. I don't miss that.
Talia has a different reason for leaving. She says post-divorce conflict between her and David was causing enormous stress for her and the kids, and that leaving, while a wrenching decision, was the only way to ease the tension.
Why so far away? Why did you have to move 3,000 miles away?
At that point, was it 10 miles or 3,000 miles or 3 million miles? It really wouldn't make any difference.
Well, because at 10 miles you could still see the kids and be a presence in their lives.
Right, but in order for the conflict to go away, there had to be a certain distance.
David says there was no conflict, and he says Talia's sudden transformation from stay-at-home mom to West Coast bohemian was astonishing.
I'm completely surprised even to this day.
And his friends?
They were shocked. It's like, how could a mom leave her children like this? What got into her? Hello. But she has a spiritual connection with them.
Yeah, I could just like pet you.
That is rather profound, and accordingly, she doesn't seem to need to have that physical contact with them.
How's my boy?
Complicating matters further, Talia's youngest child, Eric, has Down syndrome. Their longest time apart was more than 2 years. Kisses with mom? Well, a computer will have to do.
You have a special needs child. Did it make you think that you owed it to him to be there for him?
Eric is the kind of child that connects to whomever he's around. It sounds strange to say this from his mother, but people are kind of interchangeable to him. And I could tell from how he is that he will have a wonderful life, whoever he's around.
Talia has been called selfish, irresponsible, and delusional. Rana has been called worse.
I got death threats. I got people telling me that I am evil, that I'm worse than Hitler, that I'm human garbage.
Some mothers would say your decision to leave was putting care for yourself ahead of care for your children.
I think that better women make better mothers. When you love and know yourself, then you can be a better mother for your children.
But how are you being a better mother 3,000 miles away?
Because I'm in touch with who I am.
I know, but how is that benefiting them?
It allows me to make choices for my children from my heart rather than from what I think society tells me about what a mother should be.
I've never seen him play his drums.
Oh, really? You haven't?
No, I don't think I have.
You chose to be a mother. Aren't you now just abdicating that responsibility and saying, well, I don't want to sacrifice anything? Shouldn't mothers sacrifice for their children?
I think no mother should have to completely sacrifice. I think to sacrifice your own wants and needs and desires for someone else's life, what kind of a message is that sending your children?
Here's a surprise. Not only is her ex-husband David satisfied with the arrangement,
I think it's been great for the family, from my standpoint.
Talia's son Nathaniel supports his mom despite the distance.
Yeah, it's difficult, but no, I'm not going to grow up hating her and never speaking to her again. I think my mom's a good mom, even from far away.
But for 11-year-old Serena, who was only 8 when her mom left, the emotional toll is palpable.
When I was growing up and my mom lived with us, then I have like a lot of happy memories.
Serena saves every memento from her mother.
These are some Christmas wrappings that I saved. These are like my birthday cards and stuff. They're kind of like special since we don't get to see her a lot.
And she's become a surrogate mother for Eric.
I make Eric's lunch and I feed him breakfast. Sometimes I am actually kind of angry with her that I don't have a mother to do what a mother does.
In her blog, The Better Mothers Project, Talia defends her decision with her message that there is not only one right way to be a mother. Rana agrees. She says she has managed to have it all, an award-winning book and a close relationship with her sons.
I think if I was a man, then none of this would be an issue. People have this idea of what a good mother is. I don't fit that mold, but I definitely fit the mold of a terrific divorced dad.
It's been a while since I've seen your face.
Yeah, it has.
Talia has lived apart from her children for 5 years now. We checked in with Serena just last week. She is 13 years old now and says adjusting to life without mom has become easier.
Our relationship is really a lot closer than it was before. We talked about like relationship problems and, you know, what's going on in the girl's body and, you know, all that stuff. On the last day of 8th grade, he's gonna ask her out because that's the first day. And I just, you know, I really love my mom a lot.
But Serena's vision of her future life as a mother?
As a mom, I never want to be apart from my children. I want to make that perfect family that she was never able to do. I want that really badly now.
Mama loves you. Bye.
So what do you think about these mothers who move out? Let us know on Twitter using the hashtag ABC2020. We'll be right back.
Next, whose side would you be on? The 16-year-old who wants to have her baby, or the parents she says want her to terminate it?
We had talked about trying to slip her some kind of an abortion pill.
It was more of a joking type thing.
So is it worth suing your parents?
He said, our daughter is suing us.
Next on With Parents Like These. 2020 returns. Here's Deborah Roberts.
It's a family feud as big as Texas.
Holy crap.
2 teens in love, their parents in hate,
Get out here.
their lawyers in court,
But right now it's a victory for life.
and the media in a tizzy.
They told me the allegations were false.
At the center of it all, 16-year-old Reagan. Hers was a typical childhood in Houston's ranch country, horseback riding, volleyball. But things started going south when her parents, Jeff and Denise Cohen, split up.
Was that hard on you?
It was hard on me because, you know, I was so used to seeing them, you know, together in the same house.
During the turbulence, Reagan met Evan Madison on Facebook, a fellow horse lover from a neighboring school.
She is just sweet, kind, just everything I want.
He was just very sweet and a gentleman.
And next thing you know, you're dating.
Yep.
Dating was soon more than holding hands and cuddling.
How quickly did it become sexual?
Probably not until we started dating for like 3 or 4 months.
Were you worried at all about possibly getting pregnant?
I was worried, but I mean, I was on birth control and I quit taking it, and then the moment I quit taking it was whenever
you got pregnant.
A positive pregnancy test said it all.
What was your reaction when you found out she was pregnant?
Shocked. Wasn't expecting me to be 16 and having a baby, that's for sure.
Did you have any opinion about babies and abortion and teen pregnancy?
I would always watch like Teen Mom and stuff.
I know, I feel so good.
I saw, you know, all those moms that are out there, they can do it with their babies.
At first, the young couple kept the pregnancy a secret, then fessed up to Evan's mom and dad, Jamie and Joey.
I'm the boss, that's how that works.
Were you upset?
It's just kind of like a wow moment. Like, I was going to support the kids. I mean, whatever they decided.
Jamie offered to break the news to Reagan's mom, whose reaction was quite different.
I was like, we're gonna take care of it. I'm going to take care of business. And
what did you mean, take care of business?
Basically terminate the pregnancy.
2 moms, 2 radically different views. Jamie was herself a teen mom.
I mean, I'm definitely not endorsing it. I mean, it requires a lot of dedication and hard work and sacrifice, but it can be done.
Reagan's mom, Denise, admits she had an abortion and wanted her daughter to consider it as an option.
There were accusations that you had talked about trying to slip her some kind of an abortion pill.
It was more of a joking, do you think I could type thing, let somebody else be in the same position and see what they would say.
Emotions between the 2 families soon hit a boiling point when Jeff learned his only child was pregnant.
What did you think should happen?
It's a mistake done by kids that obviously don't know what they're doing. We'd sit down and have conversations with her, and yes, they were heated conversations, and I did let her have it. I did absolutely let her have it.
Did you feel you were being pressured?
When my dad stepped in, he stepped in with my mom and said, I don't care, you're gonna get an abortion, and you know, it's my way or the highway, you know, that kind of attitude.
Do you respect her decision?
Honestly, no.
No.
I don't respect her decision.
Things got so ugly that police were called to the Burnside's house as recently as 4 weeks ago.
The one location of your emergency? We just have a harassment, verbally harassing. It's my dad.
Jeff Cohen insists he never harassed the Burnsides, and no police reports were ever filed.
Did you threaten her in any way at that moment?
Never. At any point in time, that girl has never been threatened. We wanted to fully understand that she knew what the future held for her.
For Reagan, the future definitely included a baby at any cost.
She asked us to please help her. And, I said, I don't know what I can do, but I'll figure out something.
Jamie and Joey Burnside went into action and found attorneys with the Texas Center for Defense of Life who were ready to go to court.
A lawsuit never would have been filed if her parents had been willing to do the right thing, in our opinion, which is to allow her to make the choice to have the child.
During a meeting at this local restaurant, the attorneys arranged a clandestine plan. With her mom waiting outside in her car, Reagan slipped into the ladies' room with a notary and signed the filing for a temporary restraining order. Eventually, Reagan would legally free herself from her parents. The courts call it emancipation.
But why not sit down and talk it out and try to sort it out? Why go to court?
I felt like it was never going to end.
Today, a civil court judge granted a temporary restraining order.
Her parents were blindsided when a local reporter broke the news to them.
I spoke with the teen's father. He didn't want to go on camera.
He said, our daughter is suing us. Really? She was somewhat nonplussed. And she said, yeah.
In the lawsuit, it says that her parents had done multiple actions: removal of the cell phone, removal from school the previous day, forcing her to get 2 jobs, taking away her car and other demands because she was refusing to give in to their coercion to have an abortion.
That is inaccurate. The way it was laid out was wrong. We weren't trying to force her or coerce her or what have you. At this stage in the game, at this point, we were working to, make a plan for life.
The teen's father wasn't happy.
The pregnant teen, with the support of her boyfriend.
The case became a national media sensation.
Do you have the determination to be a good father?
And I said, I hope that you're proud that you have sued your parents. I just want to let you know that those attorneys are not going to be there for you. I said they got what they wanted.
Denise and Jeff deny trying to force their daughter to do anything, saying Reagan has been manipulated by media-hungry lawyers. Still, they signed a court order.
Get out of here.
Jeff was clearly unhappy about it.
We've basically had our child ripped away from us through the court system. Parental rights you're just done. You're done today.
249.
At nearly 5 months pregnant, we found Reagan shopping for baby clothes. She wasn't working, and Evan had lost his after-school job at a local grocery store.
How do you plan to support yourself? How are you going to care for your baby?
We're, going to try to be very, money-wise. We've actually saved about $300-400.
That won't get you too far.
No. It's going to be hard.
Perfect.
Weeks later, decked out in cowboy gear, the teenagers formally tied the knot.
We are gathered here today to celebrate this woman in holy matrimony.
Reagan's parents were not invited.
It ripped my heart out. I never, ever thought I could feel that way in my life. That's one of the things that the parents look forward to, is watch them get married and be there with them through all the big events of their lives.
And late this week, we went back to Texas to catch up and discovered that another big event had just happened. Reagan and Evan had a falling out with Evan's parents, so they're now actually living with Reagan's mom, the very mom she sued. They're all happily awaiting the baby due this September. We'll be right back.
Next, does mother know best? Not according to her humiliated kids. When she's planning on trading up her implants.
If she gets them bigger, it'd be like chaos.
What if she died? Does she really care that her kids could be left alone?
Next on With Parents Like These. We return to 2020s with Parents Like These. Here's Deborah Roberts.
Taking a walk with mom is a challenge for Lacey Wild's 17-year-old daughter, Tori.
Uh-oh, she's bouncing.
When people see my mom with large implants, I feel like they judge me. Usually girls just laugh at her, make fun of her. Men just calling out. Oh. My life revolves around her boobs.
Every moment, Tori keeps a wary distance.
Bye, guys.
After all, it's not easy living with a mom whose 52-inch assets are on clear display.
It's annoying. I feel like we should have a normal time, walking down the street. I wish she could take them off when we go places together.
Gun shoes.
Lacey Wild is all about living large. Very, very large. Much to the dismay of her son, Brandon.
Everything's fake, I think. I don't think she looks pretty at all. I think she looked pretty before she even had the surgery.
Lacey claims to have the 7th largest breasts in the world, a way to support her family through public appearance fees. But those volleyball-sized implants are the source of bitter conflict between mom and daughter.
People will start booking her, kind of like, when you go see the two-headed man. It's not like they're booking her because, oh wow, she's
Thank you,
sexy.
dear. I just love you saying that.
She's
basically
people
saying I'm the sideshow. I want you guys to go play on your iPads, and as soon as I'm done here, we'll go to the park for a little while, okay? All right.
Lacey's work on her website cuts into mom time, according to younger kids Genevieve and Brandon.
She's always busy on the computer, her phone. iPad. She never does anything with us. She's like...
I just got asked to go to the grand opening of a daycare because they want the dads to get involved.
So how much do you think you'll make because of those breasts?
I'm looking to maybe make $250,000 a year. My boobs are my paycheck for sure.
Your boobs are your paycheck?
100%.
It wasn't always this way. Lacey started life as a tomboyish girl next door named Paula.
I was just a flat-chested, brown-haired little girl from a Midwest town. That's the house I grew up in. I slept on the floor, but I don't think I'll ever be that poor again.
Married at 16, divorced with 2 kids by 21, she was scraping by as a waitress when suddenly she had a big idea.
I changed my hair color. I got my breasts done, and my money just started rolling in.
12 breast surgeries later, goodbye Paula, hello Lacey Wild. But being Lacey comes at a cost. She can't even pick up her 5-year-old daughter.
This ain't gonna work. I can't lift her up and pull her to me because, let's be honest, I'm out pretty far. I can't work out, I can't jog.
We used to ride bikes together every night, and we can't do that anymore.
Sleep, too, is a difficult balancing act.
She has to have a pillow on her boob. Yeah, she has to have 3 pillows under her boob.
After a little while, I can't take it anymore. I feel like I'm being suffocated.
She sleeps like this. Like a mummy. She's like...
Lacey's kids endure a much greater hardship every day, the scalding shame of public embarrassment.
My mom was going to drop me off at school, and this kid says, "Your mom has big boobs." That made me feel so crazy. So weird and awkward. Yes.
I do want my kids to be happy and not be embarrassed of me and not be, having to worry about being bullied at school or feel embarrassed at all.
So at home in sunny South Florida, Lacey sometimes goes to great lengths to come off like the mom next door.
Extra large pants, extra large jacket is required. for this operation. So look, normal mom, right? In 100-degree weather.
Nice try, but not good enough for 11-year-old Brandon.
I want her to get them smaller, not stay the same or get bigger, and then I would be happy.
Well, get ready, kids, for a new round of zany.
Mind you of anybody?
Lacey's about to double the size of her breasts, going from a triple L to a triple Q.
If she gets them bigger, it'd be like chaos.
They'll be like 42 pounds.
Is it safe?
Absolutely not. These aren't safe. I'm a walking time bomb is what the doctor told me.
The surgery's so risky, no American doctor will do it. Tori is outraged that her mom is willing to take that chance.
What if she died? Is she really taking that into consideration? Does she really care that her kids could be left alone?
But Lacey's fans urge her on, donating for the upcoming procedure in Brazil.
You know, when people put on the internet oh, I'm gonna kill myself or I'm gonna do this, people write on there do it, because they don't really care about you. They just want to see you do something crazy, and then they're done. So you're gonna do it?
Well, I haven't done it yet, so.
That wasn't what I asked.
Your daughter Tori is really upset with you.
She thinks that I'm being irresponsible by putting my life on the line.
You say it's upsetting, I feel bad, I don't want them to be upset, but why do it?
It's the money. It's the money. I need the money.
Money to send Tori to college and care for her 2 younger children.
Come on, though. There are people who are working 2 jobs at a grocery store, at a department store.
I was doing okay, but I've quadrupled my income.
Do you ever regret this?
No, actually, I don't regret it. I would do it again. Absolutely.
Even knowing that your kids are upset and embarrassed?
Don't our parents always embarrass us?
The other day I went to a party and this kid came up and he's like, "Are you Tori?" He's like the one that has the mom with the big boobs. I'm like, "Yep, that's me."
Do you think that this could permanently damage your relationships with your children?
I don't think so. My kids love me for me. I am very loving. My heart's bigger than my boobs.
Next, dozens of drunken teens at a party. Some passed out in the yard.
They say there were beer cans and vomit everywhere.
But when the police came, who got in trouble? The parents inside, who didn't buy a drop of liquor.
The first thing that I remember was a policeman saying that my dad was going to jail.
A mom, a dad, and a gross out party. Next on With Parents Like These.
What's a party without entertainment? Just recently, some R-rated pictures popped up on Facebook of strippers supposedly hired by a mother for her 16-year-old son's birthday. So how does that compare to a high school party with no strippers but lots of drinking? That's more common and potentially more dangerous. But for whom? The kids or their parents?
Prom and graduation season have arrived, and along with the dresses, corsages, caps and gowns, and the parties. Raucous teen bashes that can strike fear in the heart of any parent. Paula and Barry Spencer know the feeling well. For them, last June 16th started out as a day of celebration.
There was a lot of jumping up and down. Yeah, it was amazing.
Their 18-year-old son, Nicky, along with his high school baseball team, had just won the state championship. It was a big day for the small town of Falmouth, Maine.
Nicky asked if he could have a celebration at our home.
I didn't know necessarily what the party would entail, but I mean, it's assumed that people are going to be crazy and pumped up and hyper after a big win.
The Spencers enjoyed entertaining their son's large group of friends, but say they would never cross the line. Like the dad in this what would you do scenario who actually buys alcohol for his teenage son.
You never do a party for the kids?
No, never. I have 4 of them. My oldest is 30. Never. It's the wrong message to send them.
The Spencers say they were definitely looking to avoid sending that message.
What were the ground rules?
He actually told us we'll keep it to 50, and I said nothing illegal.
Those would prove to be famous last words.
Barry came to me and said, I'm starting to see people sneaking in alcohol.
People from other towns started hearing about it, and we started having people show up who I didn't recognize, and kind of got a little out of control.
Around 10:30 p.m., an anonymous tip comes into the Falmouth police that there are more than soft drinks being served at the Spencers' home. Sergeant George Savage was on duty.
When I pulled up to the house, a gentleman came out and identified himself as Mr. Spencer and that he was hosting an alcohol and chemical-free party.
Sergeant Savage leaves, but the partygoers keep arriving.
I saw lots of people coming with just boxes and boxes of beer in the woods.
So when the police first came to your house, you already knew things were getting a little dicey. It was a little more than you can handle.
Yes.
Why aren't you walking through the house saying, time to go home?
I felt like I invited these kids to our home to celebrate, and I didn't have clear evidence that they were all drinking. And I also really felt at the time that if I walked around and said, all right, everybody, we're shutting it down, I thought they'd run to their cars or they'd do something that's more dangerous than what they were actually doing.
So you thought it was safer to let them stay and continue the party at your house?
But not drink.
At 11:30, another Falmouth police officer makes a traffic stop near the house. In the car, he finds one of the passengers is a drunken underage girl who says she has just come from the party. Police make a beeline back to the Spencers.
How had the scene changed?
At this point now, it looked like there was a party going on.
Not just a party, a rager that has ballooned to around 100 rowdy kids, openly drinking in the backyard when police descend to break it up.
It was just mayhem. They started breathalyzing any kids that were trying to leave.
The first thing that I remember was a policeman saying that my dad was going to jail.
Going to jail, even though the Spencers didn't provide a drop of the alcohol?
Two parents due in court today.
It's happening to parents all over the country, like this mom who was sentenced to 6 months in a Massachusetts jail for hosting underage drinkers, even though she claims she was duped by duplicitous teens. And this Tennessee school teacher arrested and then fired for the post-prom drinking party she says she unwittingly threw. Denials aside, District Attorney Stephanie Anderson believed the Spencers were the latest example of parents turning a blind eye to tipsy teenagers.
There was no real attempt to prevent underage drinking at that home.
She points to the police report from that night, which describes a scene fit for a frat house, complete with a teenager passed out on a neighbor's lawn.
They described the scene at your house that night as, quote, an animal house. An animal house. They say there were beer cans and vomit everywhere.
It's just not true.
But Anderson didn't buy their story, and she went after the Spencers, charging them with allowing minors to consume alcohol in their home, a crime that now had them facing jail time.
They wanted to be the cool parents.
Q97.9 is Portland's #1 hit music station.
The story quickly got the attention of the local media.
I mean, can you imagine at that moment how you're going to feel? I'm going to get in trouble. I'm going to get arrested for this. It's not a decision I would make.
21 and over, you can drink. 21 and under, you can't drink. It's the law.
A few clicks on YouTube illustrates the ever more devious and dangerous ways kids are finding to get drunk. From eyeball shots to vodka gummy bears to downing hand sanitizer. It may make you wonder whether adult-supervised drinking parties are such a bad idea.
What's more dangerous? Having my kids down in the basement where I know they're going to drink a few beers, or having them go out to the softball field at night and drink where there's nobody to keep an eye on anything?
In this scenario, there's no difference at all. There wasn't anyone there to keep an eye on anything.
But Anderson had a hard time convincing a jury of that.
When it did go to trial, it was split down the middle,
Yes.
6 to 6.
Yeah.
Did that surprise you?
No, not terribly. It's a very divisive issue.
Rather than retry the Spencers, Anderson offered them a deal. No jail time, but they would have to pay $17,000 in fines and restitution, write a letter of apology in the local newspaper, and serve 100 hours of community service each.
You know that there are critics who say that you were overzealous in this, that you have a cause you're promoting.
Well, underage drinking is one of my causes, that's true.
But do you really think you're going to stop underage drinking?
No. I don't think I'm going to stop underage drinking.
So then what have you done? Haven't you chased it back to the unsupervised, unchaperoned location?
Well, I think what this case did was it got the issue out in the open. I think parents are putting themselves in the position of the Spencers and saying, what should I do differently? If I'm going to have a party, I better have chaperones.
We did not intend for kids to drink. It happened, and I'm sorry that it happened.
Are you ever going to host another party?
Our 12-year-old is already asking to have an end-of-year pool party, and They're 6th graders. I'm sure that we can manage that.
You sure?
I would maybe ask a parent or two to stick around.
Next, D is for dad, or maybe just dumb, because he's now starring in the videos that are going viral.
Here's another dumb dad. Look at that. So your bottom line message to dads on this Father's Day seems to be, don't be an idiot.
Next on With Parents Like These.
If it seems like we've been focused on moms for the hour doing the unconventional, time for some equal opportunity with some dads who are turning heads just in time for Father's Day. Dan Harris has the story.
Usually we think of dad as the one holding the video camera recording everybody else. Now, though, the lens is turning with fathers taking starring roles.
This is how I roll. Poopy diaper sip cups out of control. I'm gonna put a stop to it.
Whether it's doling out unusual forms of punishment, engaging in epic lapses in judgment, or just being a huge dork, dad is going viral.
I'm a daddy and I know it.
Here's another dumb dad. Look at that.
On this Father's Day weekend, there are some valuable lessons embedded in these clips. To figure out what they are, we enlisted dad and comedian Hal Sparks and parenting expert Dr. Jeff Gardier to take a look at our fatherhood lowlight reel.
Oh.
Exhibit A, this dad giving new meaning to the term penalty kick.
Parents think some of this stuff is cute, and that child, subconsciously or in the future, may not trust his father as much.
The kid takes it in stride, though. Dunk. Falls down, gets right back up.
5, 6, 7, 8.
Check out this dad at a theme park leaving his son unattended in the splash zone.
Oh my God!
Okay, he's not big enough to get in the water ride, so we'll just park him near where the water will hit him and he'll get kind of the experience. Don't do that to your kids.
From the theme park to the ballpark, often the venue for classic dad discombobulation. Look at this guy.
He's got a baby in one hand, does he? And a ball in the other? Here is second of the year. 3 home runs.
This dad doesn't even manage to hold on to the kid.
His daughter just tumbles out of his lap into the bleachers. Yeah, the look on her face pretty much tells the story.
Yeah, you idiot. She gave him the death stare, and he deserved it.
Is there something about the hard wiring of the male brain that makes us just slightly less capable in this arena?
I think you're being very kind by saying slightly less capable. I think we're a lot dumber in some of these things. Yes, of course, it's the way that we're hardwired. We're much more rough and tumble. We're not as nurturing.
There really is something about a sporting event that can summon a father's evil side. Look at hockey coach and dad Martin Tremblay during the post-game handshake ceremony.
You look back and he scoops his leg. You do realize you're a grown man, right?
The 13-year-old he tripped broke his wrist. Tremblay was banned from the league and sent to the grown-up penalty box, jail, for 15 days.
I think this peaks the bad dad meter into bad human. Well into bad human at this point. Overall.
It gets even darker than that. This surveillance video from a gas station in Detroit at 3 in the morning became a national story. Look closely at who's driving. A 9-year-old girl, her father in the passenger seat.
9 years old.
Yeah, she's 9. She drove us here. It's awesome. I have such a system. Is that camera on?
Listen, we're leaving and she's driving. I'm drunk.
The surveillance video went viral, and the dad, Sean Weimer, went to court, where he was sentenced to 2 years probation.
If you're that stupid, I want you caught on tape.
Speaking of punishment, remember this dad? Tommy Jordan made a huge splash, even getting interviewed on 2020, after he decided to take his daughter to task for an anti-parent rant she posted on Facebook.
You know, when your parents tell you to do something, you do it. You don't go, God, fine.
In retaliation, he went Eastwood on her laptop.
The only lesson this taught this guy's daughter was dad is a maniac, and I can't wait to move out.
Dr. Gardier says this is the exact wrong way to punish your kid.
Good parenting would be all of that time and effort that he spent at making that video, spending that time instead sitting with his daughter, talking with her about her behavior.
Now, we should say not all of the caught-on-tape moments involving dads are negative. Let's wrap this thing up with a clip from a father letting it all go. He has become known as the dancing dad on the internet. I think the dancing technique was spectacular. It served the purpose, and I stand by him 100%. In conclusion, in an era when more moms are working outside the home, more dads are stepping up. But as they do so, our experts say the humiliation doled out by these viral clips should serve as a useful reminder.
So your bottom line message to dads on this Father's Day seems to be, don't be an idiot.
Don't be an idiot. Think about what you're doing. You're allowed to make mistakes, but for heaven's sakes, learn from your mistakes and try to be a better dad.
That's our program for tonight. Thanks for watching.